Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to say, call Alayim Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rukakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone that taught us this truth. All right, shalom and salutations to the hopeful elect Akim out there spreading the gospel throughout the four corners of the earth in sincerity and truth. All right, and presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, as the scriptures teach us to do. Shalom to the Akwaf, the very few sisters that do listen up as well. I'm the brother Yarmiah from the Great Millstone Chicago camp. All right, basically coming back to you with another lesson. And this lesson is just concerning the update, of Mystery Babylon the Great. And the update is that things are not going back. All right, every day you see a new change going forth towards to push the prophecy. And the main two prophecies that we keep talking about, the most people say we sound like a broken record. Or these scoffers in Israel say we sound like a broken record. Well, it's true. All right? Well, it's true. Because we can only tell you the truth. The sincere men of the Lord right now, well, we get into everything, especially when questions are asked. But for the most part, what you see is the MOTB. You see World War III. You see these insurrections. All right. You see men about to invade one another, spoil another's goods. You see the crazies coming out. So the update on Mystery Babylon the Great is that it's not coming back. America will never be made great again because, see, America being made great again, it goes against the prophecy. And what's the prophecy? Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Esau is pursuing the book of 2nd Ezra. All right? It says Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. All right? It's not the other way around, but at the same time, you little diabolical Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans have, wrought great transgression against Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai throughout the ages. And this is the time where your ass got to get taxed. All right? The wickedest niggas, and I say it damn near every lesson, the wickedest niggas that ever existed are alive, and they are on earth today, being niggas. All right? Offending the holy prophets. First and foremost, offending the Lord, his name, and his reputation. Because, see, Israel, the nation of Israel, all right, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and our seed that's been scattered abroad, all right, you got to understand the Lord said in the scriptures, and I don't really have the scriptures on me, and I can't go into them because I'm recording like I'm recording, but nevertheless, the Lord said, that he's likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman. Could you imagine your woman calling another man, calling you the name of another man? All right? Could you imagine your woman going and following the philosophies of every other man, and you doing everything you could for? The same thing. He said, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. Could you imagine your son doing the same? Giving another nation, giving another idol, giving a false god the credit, your credibility, and you did everything for him? And that's what you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans do to the Lord, you Israelites. And that's why he said the 2/3 therein shall, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. All right, the majority of you niggas are about to get smoked on this side because we entering the new promised land. All right, when you look at Joshua, when you go into the book of Joshua in the scriptures, look who entered the promised land. All right, we coming into the new promised land. The kingdom is being established, man, and that's why this kingdom is being torn down. All right, going back to the first scripture I quoted, Esau, that scripture I quoted, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. So you knucklehead niggers have to be destroyed. All right, 2/3 of Israel. All right, you Edomites have to be destroyed. And the ones of you that are left have to go into captivity pursuant to the scriptures. That's why I say in the book of Ezekiel, continual employment. All right? You're going to be digging graves and shit, boy, for a long time. All right? And then you're going to get eradicated. All right? Everybody has to pay back for what they did to the Lord. You are the Lord and his people, man. You heathen nations. Everybody has to pay. And that's why the great judgment is coming upon this earth. That's why when you read the book of Revelations, it says what? They shall wail for Babylon. And that's America. Because all of them came and got rich. pursuant to the book of Psalms, it says they've been confederate against thee. All right, and it names Esau, and names Ishmael, the so-called white man, the so-called Arab man, the so-called Chinese man. I think that's in Maccabees. Yes, in Maccabees. I think it's in Maccabees. Yeah, he said, what nation have not took part in the spoils of her? All right. All these curses came upon us. In the Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter says, you shall be the stranger in the land. He said, the stranger that is above thee shall rise higher and higher. This is Gad land. All right, this is Issachar land. They kicking Issachar ass out. All right, you so-called Mexicans. They kicking them out, deporting them, human trafficking them, organ trafficking them right here in the city of Chicago. I just happen to have a nice view. All right? That's what the fuck is going on. So the curses are on Jake. And that's how he said there'd be a sign and a wonder upon you. All right? That's another sign of being a stranger, being a tail and not the head. Just like you Negroes, all right? Have you had these communities, but the Arab in your community making money, all right? As a punishment to you, the so-called white man, the Elamite, the so-called Indian, the Chinese, the Africans, the Hamites, which we are not. But it's a lot of our people still over there too. But the real seed of Ham are those people. They sold us into slavery. They come over here, they call us Akata. Those heathen nations, all right, have to get judged. The 2/3 of our people, which is going to die as the heathen nations, pursuing to Jeremiah the 9th. And see, this ain't nothing I'm making up. All right, pursuing to Jeremiah the 9th chapter. Last couple verses. You niggas got to die as the heathens. Because what do? You're the most murderous. You're the most adulterous. You're the most treason. That's glorified now. Back door. We was ride or die. When I was coming up, we was on some nigga shit. All right, but at least we was on that ride or die. This my nigga. Thick and thin, ride or die. Now these niggas glorious. I backdoored this nigga, or I fronted on this nigga, or I fucked this nigga bitch. You niggas just wax worse and worse. And that's why pursuing Isaiah the 1st chapter, the Lord has to deal with you. He has to put your punk ass to death. And that's just gonna be that. Nothing else is gonna happen. So the update on Mystery Babylon the Great is just that. Esau's about to set you niggas up. All right, because he already human trafficking you and organ trafficking you with letting all these immigrants in with this ICE and then putting this ICE shit on them. He's going to do this. It's regular auto ab KO, which is just going to lead to chaos, man. Because ultimately, he doing all this to come down and convict the prophets. And when the Lord said, when the enemy shall come in, the Spirit will lift up a standard. All right, that's what really these niggas want to do. And that's why, the famine of the word is coming. But nevertheless, Esau is bagging you niggas up, sex trafficking you, organ trafficking you, all right? And this place is not going back to its regular estate, man. So in these times, you really got to be prayed up. The scripture goes into working out your own salvation and fear and trembling. And that's what all us need to be doing. And it also says that the righteous scarcely be saved, well, much more the ungodly and the sinner. So we don't have shit. Look, man. Nobody's with you. And if you're a brother in this truth, you got to understand that your relatives, your so-called family members, the brothers are your family. Your woman, is some box, that the Lord, if she's down with you and she real, she's some box that the Lord might deliver. Maybe. But for the most part, these people, they coming down with, look, the devil is coming down with great wrath. Everybody's going to be against you when the light's out. Everybody's going to be against you with when the MOTB is implemented and made mandatory, that RFID hip. I'm speaking in code, like the beloved elder Apostle Todd said, I'm speaking in code, but for real, everybody's gonna be against you, man, except for the people that really, understand that wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our times and the strength of our salvation, and the fear of the Lord being his treasure. Those are the people that's gonna be with you, and those are the people that are elect. He sealed this wisdom amongst the elect. That's why Yahweh Shah said, many kings and prophets had desire to see the things that they see. Because we see this, pursuing the revelations as well, anointed with eye salve, and we like, man, we see that great conglomerate that I mentioned earlier. All right, and I ain't really getting to it, going into Psalms, what's that, the 83rd chapter? These Arabs having everything in your community. These Chinese going back to the stranger. rising above you. We know we under the curses. But at the same time, all things are double. This is revealing who the wicked is, the white man is. It's repaying these wicked ass fucking punk. You Jakes out here are punks. You Israelites are fucking wicked demon bitch ass niggas, man. And you women worse than them wicked demon bitch ass niggas. So now what? They gotta get judged. But at the same time, it's showing. But these heathens gotta submit. They going into slavery as well. All right. You know, you gonna touch the apple of the Lord, because yeah, Israel fucked up, but all things are double. We still the apple of the Lord's eye. So you gotta go into slavery for fucking us over through the generations, man. We gotta beat you back into believing. See, that's the problem. None of you niggas believed. 144, call out me about Shem Shai. None of you niggas believe, but Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is he's gonna use the holy angels, the prophets, these torments, the four-sword judgments, the ICBM missile fire, to whip you niggas back into believing, man. Whether that be the 2/3, the heathens, whatever, man. And all I really gotta say, look, man, call aloud Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. All right, get your shit together, and this message go for me first and foremost. The scripture says, examine thyself rather than the fake, because these times are going to be real, man. And the Lord is only defending the elect, pursuing the Psalms, the 91st chapter. And if you got to go out, you better go out in this truth, man. You know, precious is the death of the saints in the sights of the Lord. So that's where we at with this shit now. But, you know, with that being said, man, call aloud Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone who taught us this truth, and to the hopeful elect I came out there, endure, and shalom. We almost out of here, man. We closer than when we first believed, man.